This is a video that's about a month overdue. So I'm going to shoehorn some other things in. So today let me put this card down. Today I got this, my Hawerchuk Strong shirt. And it came along with this card. Thank you for your order and welcome to the Hawerchuk Strong Initiative. I got one for my wife as well, which she may very well make look more girly. Sometimes she'll use her sewing machine and add different colors of fabric and stuff to it, but we'll see. If when she does, I'll post it to my Instagram. Cancer's had an impact on so many of our lives. On August 22nd, 2019, Hockey Hall of Fame legend Dale Hawerchuk was diagnosed with an aggressive form of gastric cancer. Dale immediately began months of chemotherapy, a full gastrectomy. There we go. And endless doctor's appointments. After ringing the bell in April 2020 to symbolize the completion of his final round of chemo, he began his recovery journey to regain strength and return to daily life. His first mission was to use his platform to launch an initiative that would raise awareness and give back to the healthcare community he and his family are so grateful for. Hawerchuk Strong was created, and work began to achieve his goal. Sadly, Dale's cancer returned with a vengeance in July 2020. He is now back in his battle against this terrible disease, fighting as hard as he ever did in his career. And of course he passed away recently, but in honor of his passing, I felt that ordering a couple of shirts and then mentioning it here, wearing the shirt in this video, least I can do. And of course wearing Jets, because that's what he's remembered as being, is a Winnipeg Jet. I know he played in St. Louis and Buffalo as well. So I will start off with that because I'm wearing the Hawerchuk Strong shirt. And I want to talk about, just for like new viewers to the channel, because there's things that have clearly confused some of the newer subscribers. And don't worry, if you're one of the original subscribers, there's going to be information in this for you as well. First off, suspension videos. Yes, when a player is suspended, if that player is, for instance, Matt Niskanen, I will wear a Flyers jersey. That's always what I've done. I wear the jersey of the team that's being mentioned in the video. And there were some that seemed to be confused, saying, "Why is he wearing a Flyers jersey for the Niskanen?" Because it was Niskanen getting suspended. So that's always the way I've done it. It is not a way of saying that I support the player who was suspended at all. Review videos is much the same thing. I wear the jersey of the team that won. I don't care if they just beat a team I cheer for. That is not going to be a thing. There have been a couple of instances where I broke that rule and I immediately regretted it. We'll never do it again. So no matter what happens to Vancouver, Dallas, or Boston from here, and I'll come back on that, I will wear the jersey of a team that defeats them in any given game. I also want to add in here, I don't talk a lot about the Patreon account. Patreon's been attached to this channel for it's 4 years now. I know it was attached before I met my wife. And she went through yesterday and figured out the whole merchandise thing. It gave me a headache. I didn't really have the time to devote to it that I wanted to in order to attach the merchandise to Patreon. So basically the way it works is that it'll automatically send merchandise out to people who are at certain levels, and that we don't actually have to initiate anything on our end. And so that's been automatically set up. And I'm quite happy that she did that, including a level where you get a sticker, a level where you get a T-shirt, a level where you get a hoodie, this kind of thing. So I'm glad she set that up, and I'm very grateful for that. It is another example of how I may be the person that's seen in all the videos, minus the live streams, but she does a lot of the stuff behind the scenes. She's very active on the Discord. And I'm very, very glad that we have the mods we do on the Discord, and that we have a very well set up system that I'm very happy with overall. Draft videos, I had intended to start doing those again this week. I'm thinking about doing, and when I say draft videos, I mean more looks at prospects in this draft. This draft is supposed to be very deep, and my thought process on that is simple. That after draft day, you may be a fan of maybe the Islanders, you may be a fan of Pittsburgh, a fan of whoever. You may be like, hey, so this guy we drafted in the second round, who is he? And then there would be a video on this channel of that prospect. I got through a lot of prospects in this year's draft, but there were still others I wanted to do profiles on, and I will as we get further into the playoffs. I think once we're past round 2 and we're into the conference finals, that would be the best time for me to start putting those draft videos back in, because my concern has been, well, they're just going to get buried. And so, I want them to be something that's a little more visible and doesn't just get buried in and around the news of the day and the review videos. The 2021 previews, so we're up to part 5 on this. Honestly, it's fun to get those done now. The trade Pittsburgh made today did kind of change the mentality of the video I did yesterday with Pittsburgh, but not really, because now they don't have that number 15 pick. And honestly, I know Pittsburgh sees Kapanen as being in that top 6. I wouldn't push Hornqvist out of the top 6 for Kapanen right now. Now, Kapanen's 24. They may very well see some upside there. He may have great chemistry with Sid. And once we reach next season, we might have a completely different view of how their top 6 is. But I also don't think Jim Rutherford's done. So the previews that I'm doing for next season are more of just to look at the roster where it is now. I used to do videos after the regular season where we're like, okay, going to the draft, here's what's going to happen, or what could happen. And then after the draft and free agency, then I would officially do the previews. Well, we have such a squashed off season in all likelihood between the Stanley Cup being awarded and when we get to the next season, it could be 6 weeks, that it wouldn't make any sense for me to do, okay, here we are going to the draft, and now here's a preview video for the exact same team 3 weeks later. So I thought, no, I'm going to kind of combine the two into one, do them now. There weren't any today because there was a trade this morning. So I am trying to delay them. I am trying to space them out so that they come up on a day where maybe not a lot has happened. And because of the Toronto-Pittsburgh trade, I thought, no, I'm going to hold off on those. And I knew I would do this video today as well as a result. So the previews, again, I'll be doing the ones for the teams that got eliminated from the play-in round, then the teams that got eliminated from round 1. And the next 2 that I have queued up are Edmonton and Toronto. So that's interesting. I'm actually trying to delay Florida for last because it feels like the GM announcement's coming soon. They're supposed to be starting round 2 of the interview process, so it would be nice to know who the GM is at the time I do that preview. I don't know that that's going to happen, but I'm delaying it to see if that's what's going to happen. Saturday live streams have been fun. Again, that's where you'll see my wife on the channel, because when I used to do the live streams while watching the games, and I would try to run the whole thing myself, I would end up spending the whole time watching the chat, and I wouldn't actually be able to pay any attention to the game itself. And it kind of just made it so that I wasn't really watching the game. Now, that was before I started taking notes. That's before I started doing all of the reviews of every game. And it was during the regular season, but I very quickly realized it wasn't a system that was working very well. So having her moderate the chat and read out questions, it works a lot better, and then I'm able to pay attention to the game and answer questions and write notes and get all of that done at the same time. And I've really enjoyed the Saturday streams, and I intend to continue those. One thing I learned during the shutdown, during that pause from March through until August 1st, is that having those live streams, it can actually be kind of a really cool way of doing things. And something that I've explained to people is that while there are YouTubers who ignore comment sections, and I've certainly been told for my own sanity to ignore it at times myself, there are also people that I've become friends with who are in those comment sections, and there are people who I start to recognize more and more as they interact with me in the comment section, and I'll actually kind of look for those users to kind of interact with on a regular basis, and that can be fun once we're able to travel again, and we go to other places, and somebody will say, hey, I'm so-and-so, and I go, oh, I know who you are. And I had that experience in Anaheim, and that was actually really cool when I'm having a meetup, and I'm like finally putting a face and a real name to the people that I've talked to online, just in the comment section or on Patreon. So that was very enjoyable. I also want to just touch on, and you'll notice I'm just going through, I had to make 10 points. Vancouver, Boston, Dallas. If you're new, yes, I cheer for them in that order. Vancouver, Boston, and Dallas. How did I feel in 2011? I was disgusted in 2011. The angriest I ever was Game 6 of 2011. But don't worry, I'm intending to, after these playoffs are done, do a video on the 10 playoff games for Vancouver that made me rage the most. And I'll go through, and some of them, for people who've been subscribers for a long time, you know which ones are going to be on there. You may know 2 or 3, but you might be thinking 10. There might be some on there I'm not thinking of. Probably, yeah. And it'll be more likely that the older ones are the ones that are going to make me the angriest, because I was very young at that time, and I'm a lot more callous now than I was then. For instance, the game 1 between Vegas and Vancouver, that's not even top 10. That might not even be top 20. Comparatively speaking, with that very long history and all those calluses I've built up over the years, that's just sort of all right, it's fine. I also wanted to go ahead and prop up my second channel just for today, just for something to do. The Entertainment Guy, where sometimes when I have other things to talk about that aren't hockey, sometimes it's wrestling, sometimes it's movies, television, sometimes it's it can be anything really. And I post it on there because there are days where I'm like, I want to do a video on something and it's not actually a hockey video. I tried on this channel in a long, long time ago to post a video that was related to the Toronto Blue Jays, and people were like, no, you don't talk about baseball on this channel. So I created the Entertainment Guy after that. And I do occasionally talk about baseball or football, other sports, that kind of thing. And we even did the live stream during the NFL draft. Again, when sports was pretty much shut down and the NFL draft happened, it's like, hey, sports is happening. So we did a live stream that day, which was fun because when NFL fans came in and saw that the chat was completely made up of hockey questions, it threw them off. But yeah, so that's there, and I intend to get back to live streams on the Entertainment Guy again as well, which usually is just me playing Gran Turismo Sport while people are asking questions. The funny thing is, you would expect that when I put on the PlayStation, well, he probably plays NHL 20. Not really, no. I really like Gran Turismo Sport. I love to do that in the morning. I love to get the free car every day, so I do enough races and get enough miles that it's, here's your free car for today. Yes. And so I'll even tell Yvonne, yeah, I got my free car today. Now I got to do my treadmill, which today I did 5 miles on. I feel pretty good. So if I can up that to 5 miles a day, that'll make me happy. Because if anything, the internet has taught me I'm always old and fat. So I really, really do have to thank the internet for that they make sure I keep doing the treadmill every day, or else those comments are just going to get more prominent. So yeah, there's that. The internet will always remind you of that. I'm getting a little softer on the middle there. What? But I'm in my 40s. Can't I just? Nah, I can't relax anymore. All right, fine. I do get occasionally questions about magnets and jerseys, and of course there's videos on the channel about how I make them and everything. I also, for people who are on Patreon, at $5 a level, I actually link to my Google Drive folder where I have all of my pictures of my jerseys. Which I intend to use those pictures to do another jersey countdown after next regular season. So not after this regular season. Again, the regular season's going to be squashed, and we'll get to that next. The off season's going to be squashed, at least in all likelihood. We don't know yet when the next season's going to start. We know tentatively when they want to. So I'm looking at a jersey countdown next year, and I'm also going to incorporate AHL jerseys into that countdown. It won't just be NHL anymore. ECHL as well. That way the Newfoundland one gets in there, and the Orlando Solar Bears. So just to make a difference, just for people who've been subscribers for a very long time that are like, well, we know which ones are where. Not necessarily. If I add like WHL, I've got WHL jerseys, AHL, and I'm adding to that. And so when I get new jerseys, I don't always do a video where I talk about it. I may very well post it on Instagram, tag where I got it from, that kind of thing. And when I make new magnets, I try to post that on my Instagram as well, which is just YouTube_TheHockeyGuy. And that I don't post pictures of myself because that just seems weird. People don't want selfies of me. They want selfies of, Kaylee Cuoco or somebody from TV or Jensen Ackles, or not this. So I don't put the internet through that. They see enough of me as it is in my videos. And I'm also, transparent about how I make all that stuff. There's all kinds of videos on the channel on how the magnets are made, and videos on where I get my jerseys from as well. And again, if you interact with me through social media, and an answer comes back, sometimes it's my wife that's actually doing the answering. So I always get a kick out of it when I see a message and it says Dear Shannon /Yvonne, and I go, they got it. Because again, as this channel's gotten bigger and bigger, it's just become a lot for one person to handle. I can understand why when channels get bigger and bigger, they bring in editors, they bring in social media producers, or whatever you want, directors. I get that. But again, I try to make sure this channel stays true to what it was in its infancy, which was about 5 years ago, and that there isn't really a big change. So somebody who leaves the channel 4 years ago and comes back now goes, that's the same. I mean, there's a new set and there's a new setup, but it's basically the same. Interesting. So I also wanted to mention too in this video, as I give thanks, having passed 150,000 subscribers roughly a month ago, at a time when I didn't have any time to give thanks at 150,000. The December 1st regular season is going to mean that we're going to see the draft, which of course I'll have the live stream of. We're going to have free agent frenzy. There'll be a live stream with that as well. And then the plan is to have the players right into training camp 2 weeks later. And this will probably be about a month, maybe 5-6 weeks after the Stanley Cup is awarded. So, which is part of the reason why you're seeing the schedule being rushed. So if you're like, why are they playing already? Why didn't they give them an extra day off? They want to get the Stanley Cup awarded. And for the players, there's no travel. So it's not as bad. It's sort of like if you had a choice between sitting in a hotel room for 2 days or going out on the ice and playing a hockey game, odds are you're probably going to say, you know what, we're here to play hockey. Yeah, we'll go out on the ice and play right now. So that's kind of what's happening. And I know there's been some talk today and yesterday about what the NHL's plans are going to be for the 2020-2021 season. I thought about doing a video on that today as well. I'll only say this. They're considering all their options, and it sounds like we may see a modified version of what we're seeing right now with a bubble situation, but there has to be an allowance for players to see their families and for players to feel like they exist during all this. It can wear on you for a while, and so again, we're going to see what the NHL comes up with, and once there's a more concrete plan, or we start having an idea of which plan is most likely, then I can do a video on it. But it's going to be busy. And so for me, we had the downtime between March and August, middle of March and 1st of August, and it feels like that was the off season, and now it's just going to be, for me, it's going to be probably pretty busy all the way through until next July or August, depending on how that schedule works and all of that. But thankfully, with the border being closed and people not going out very much and me not having any meetups, which I'm sorry for. I really wanted to have meetups with people from the channel again this summer. We wanted to have one locally, and then the numbers started doing this, and I thought, well, we can't. Even though it's going to be outside and the risk is low. Risk is really low outside. I still thought, no, I can't do that. So by next summer, knock on wood, we're able to do that. And by next summer, knock on wood, we have an open border, and at that stage, I'm able to go down to the States. The plan will then be to hopefully do the holiday that my wife and I had planned for Disneyland and Vegas this summer, which of course flew right out the window. But we're not the only ones who've had to change summer plans. We don't have any now. It's basically, and I feel bad too. Our kids are homeschooled, so they haven't had a summer holiday from schooling. They've done school all summer. That won't change because, again, there's not much else for them to do. And if they get their schoolwork done, it only takes a couple of hours in the morning, and then the rest of the day is theirs. Now, if you try to explain that to them, sometimes you feel like putting your head through the wall because it's just not getting through. What are you doing? Why aren't you doing your work now? This work would get done faster if you'd quit running off and playing. This would get done a lot faster. And that's the oldest one. Anyways, thank you guys so much for all your support in helping this channel reach 150,000 subscribers. If you have not, and if you can, order a shirt through Hawerchukstrong.com. I will say they're nice shirts. The women's that my wife got is sized well, because people ask me about sizing. It's your standard t-shirt size. This is a medium, men's medium. And it's fashionably loose on me. I don't wear tight-fitting clothes. One of the reasons I love wearing jerseys, which I share with Kevin Smith, is that a jersey will basically hide how big or how small you are. You just wear a jersey, and it sort of drapes you, and you're good. So, it didn't matter in my former life if I gained 20 or lost 20. It didn't really matter. I'm wearing a jersey anyways, but here we are. All right. Thank you guys so much for all your support over the years. For new subscribers, welcome. And I've always prided myself on not treating new and older subscribers any different. And so here we are with one of those videos where I kind of explain some stuff to people. And hey, thank you guys so much for all your support. And I will say the entertainment guy as well. about 14,000 subscribers. And the more subscribers that channel gets, the more views that channel gets, the more that channel generates, the more that I can say, you know what, I'm going to go over and do an entertainment guy video and not feel like I'm taking time away from this channel that, you know, obviously generates more traffic, and it makes more sense for me to make videos here. But it's nice and refreshing every now and then to talk about. And for people who want videos of the cats, there's tons of videos of the cats on there, and of our bunny rabbit, who has never been seen on the Hockey Guy channel. Raspberry has never been seen on the Hockey Guy channel, but she has seen plenty on the Entertainment Guy channel, and she's a good bunny rabbit. We have 4 cats and a bunny rabbit, and this is why people say, "You're gonna get a dog?" No, we got 4 cats. Dog wouldn't live a day in here. The cats who don't like each other would all get together and go, okay, so we agree we hate each other, but the dog has to die. We're all in agreement, right? Okay, and break. And that poor dog. All right, thank you guys so much again. 150,000 is a lot, and at last check, it's more than that. So thank you guys so much for helping this channel reach that level, and I will continue to provide you guys with daily videos. Don't worry about me getting burnt out. Don't worry about me getting upset in videos. If I post a video where I'm ticked off, it's gone. I've always been a kind of person that I will get upset, I'll express it, and then it's gone. So it's a matter of just being able to vent. At any job I've had, sometimes in school, it was nice to have that person I could vent to. And I might vent for half an hour, and they're like, so what do you want us to do? Do you want us to do anything? I'm like, no, I'm good. Thank you for listening. Thanks. I'm fine now. That's all out. I want to go back to work. I want to go back to class. I want to go back to my thing. I'm fine. Everything's out. And so the channel, when I make videos, it's the same thing. All comes out. It's all done. But I'm good. And thank you guys for that. If you haven't already hit like and subscribe, it's highly recommended by me, but I might be biased. So take the word of others, and I'll let the chips fall where they may. Thanks again. I will talk to you guys very soon.